Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So this small video is going to show one simple step, and that is how are we going to assign a lesson to somebody who is doing a lesson in Qa'idah, or somebody who is doing Nazira tilawatan recitation. How are we going to assign him a lesson so that he can practice it? Let us first log into the teacher's account. Once we log into the account, you will notice that I have already set it such that two of the students are here. These are dummy students, just for testing. So let's first, we are going to assign somebody a lesson from the Qaida. So let's open his account by either by clicking onto the name of the child over here, or if you know the name of the child, you can look for him in the static list as well and open his account from there as well. Once you click the name of the child here, it's going to open the report. The name of the child is going to appear here. This is the name of the school. We are going to talk about other things on this page later on, but we are right now focused on how to give the lesson to this child. So for the Qaida, the system is going to open the lesson on which he was previously working on. Currently this student has not worked on any lesson, so it has opened on lesson number 1. Very quick review of what things we need to look at. You have, for example, this one box. In every box you have a box number. This box number is the same number that is going to be in the Qaida that is printed out as well, the PDF copy. The number is still there, so you can actually tally it while the student is reading away from the computer as well. To you can tell him like, oh, read the box number 1. Then the second thing is, this is a repetition counter. It shows you how many times this particular letter is to be repeated. Remember that this is a local repetition counter, so if you want to set independently that this box must be repeated 10 times whereas this box must be repeated 20 times, then you can actually set it through these boxes. And then you can also set the entire lesson to be repeated a particular number by using the global repetition setting over here. And let's say we are going to set it to 15 repetitions, so the entire lesson is going to become 15 15 15 all the way. That being said, in the same box, let's coming down, you have A for accept, R for reset, and P for playing the original sound. This P is going to say out the sound of alif as it was supposed to be said, by which has been recorded into the system. And A is an accept. When the child is going to come back after completing his lesson, he's going to come back and read to you. You are going to click A to accept it, or you are going to click R to reset his lesson and tell him to go back and practice again. But we haven't even assigned him anything as yet, so let us start with that. This check mark is what you are going to use to assign him. Once I click it, the box becomes blue. And let's assign him 3 words, 3 letters here, and this is as simple as that. You have assigned him. Now blue means that he has been assigned. Now he needs to go and he needs to work on these 3 letters, and once the letters are done, then he's going to come back and do it. Let us quickly go through how it's going to look. I'm going to use this dummy account, and let's going to do this, and let's change the repetition down to 1 because we don't want to do it for no reason. Let me also reassign it. So we are doing these 3, right? 1, 2 and 3. Okay, right. So we have assigned 3 boxes, and the child is now going to go and practice these letters 3 times. Let us log into and over here. Okay, once we log in with this from the student side, this is what the student sees. He sees this big start button. He clicks start and he starts practicing. He clicks the start practice. Automatically it's going to start practicing alif. Then it's going to go to the next one,
ba,
ba. and then the student is going to repeat that way, and once the whole lesson
the
is done, now his whole lesson is showing green, and this pop-up is going to show you practice is finished, mashallah, okay, very, very good. And now once he's done, he has to click this done button, and he is done for the day. Okay, so he's going to close up. Now what's going to happen on the teacher side is, if I refresh this, the lesson is going to show that he has actually completed his lesson, and alif, ba, ta, all three of them are now green. Click the A, he says alif, and he is perfectly right. You click accept, it's going to become yellow. So blue is assigned, green is done, yellow is accept. Once all this happens, you can assign him new work. Along with this, another thing you can remember, if you want to assign the whole line, you can always click this checkbox on the side, and it's going to assign the whole line. You can similarly accept the whole line. You can reset the whole line for him as well. This is general, completely basic assigning of the lesson for the someone who is in the Qa'idah. Once you have listened to the student and you have marked everything for his future work, you click finish reading. Now remember that with this system, what will happen is the student will always have some work to do. Once you're going to listen and mark it accepted, you're always going to give him something extra, so he'll always have something extra that he can do if he wants to do it from home, if he wants to do it at the school. There are some other aspects with regards to teaching over here, which we are going to cover up in the different video. Let's quickly go over the similar aspect what we would do if we were looking at some student who is doing from the Quran Nazira. This is how it's going to show if the student is in the Nazira. Now let's assume, I just want to make sure what's happening here. Okay, and I will reset everything, and I will deassign all. All right, so so nothing is assigned to him. Now assume we are going to be giving the student alif lam mim, the first page. Right, now I want to give the student these lines 1 2 3 4 5 ayat, and this is the check mark that we are going to use. Over here, what are the options available for every single ayah? Instead of like every single box, you have these ones. Now A is accept, R is reset, this check mark is to assign, and you have it says Sheikh Husri because Sheikh Husri is selected for this particular reciter, for this particular student, and when we are going to click Sheikh Husri here, he is going to recite the recording of the Sheikh Husri for this particular ayah. M is markup, which we are not going to worry about right now. In a completely separate video, we're going to deal with that. So let's assign him one ayah, 2 ayah. As I'm assigning these ayahs, the student is getting these blue lines. I can also assign the entire page by using assign all on this page, and all of them will be assigned. Similarly, I can accept all of them on the page, I can reset all of them, and I can even deassign them. So this is and everything else is going to be same. The only thing you need to worry about is where is the repetition for it. So we have the system of loops. So we are by standard default is going to remain at total loops of 1, and you can check there has to be a delay after the ayah. So for example, he is going to recite alif lam mim, then after that he's going to give a pause of the same amount for the student to recite it, and then he's going to say the alif lam mim again. You can set how many times the repetition of the ayah is going to be. Right now it's set to 10 times. It can be 12, 14, 16, 60, whichever you want to do. There can be multiple loops as well, but we are going to discuss that in another area, which is normally used for memorization purposes. So this is what needs to be keep in mind. One just a couple of nifty things that I can add in here is you have these options of show word separators for the student to see where the word finishes and where the word starts. So if you click this, it's going to reset all this, and it's going to show these red lines to show where the words are. So he will know how he can stop, how he can join, and everything. There is another nifty trick up on this form as well. You can use this option, show syllabification. What this will do is it will take every ayah and it will give break it down into separate words, and it's going to break every word down into the phonetics or the syllables of that have to be done with every letter. So the student can actually first start looking at dhalika, dhalikal kitabu, and then once he's good with this, he can start joining it together here. dhalikal kitabu la roib, and then he can focus on the whole ayah while he's doing. So normally we set the repetition somewhere around 20-25, and the results are amazing. So this is a basic general assigning of the lesson for the one who is in the Nazira. The reading of it is going to be exactly same. When he has done it, it's going to become green. It's going to come back to the teacher. He's going to listen to it and he is going to mark it accepted, and then he can use the next page to go to the next page, and similarly he can assign other further ayat as well. I hope this is helpful. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallah, wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.